There is a deadly game at play in the African night. It's announced each evening. There are kings in residence and kings in the making. As each regent calls his dominance into the darkness, every challenger listens carefully for signs of weakness. The game is how convincing each male's message is. He will charge in and fight, steal, growl away any dissension in a display designed to roar confidence. But don't be fooled. This is not all for show. They clash like gladiators, and that they are. Warriors of an ancient realm 3.5 million years old. When two masters battle for the spoils, anything can happen. They are the epitome of raw power. They are the symbol of raw Africa. In each territory, there can only be one winner in this game of lions. There was a time in Africa when 1 million lions roamed from coast to coast and ruled the savannas. As he patrols his land, he has one mission: to defend it for as long as possible. A single glance strikes fear into the hearts of those around. Today, these territories are as strictly held as ever. And out there, the first round of the game is at play, a deadly shuffle of genetics that will determine who is the next king, who will be cast out, and which males will survive. The 2.5-year-old has been isolated from the pride, his own pride. Today, his own fathers are driving him out. His only sin was to develop the beginnings of a mane. If one of these was not his father, he would be dead already. If he resists, he will be. Betrayal by his own blood may be confusing to him, but this is an ancient rite, the casting out of young males into a world of unknowns, a world where he will either make it or die. Decisions today will determine who survives to be king and what genetic material is destined for failure. To understand what it takes to be a survivor, we have to rewind every success story and follow the bloodlines of strength. It is the life lived by claw and tooth. But for male lions, the puzzle is in the numbers. Lions are born in equal numbers, males to females. A tumbling mess of small bodies, born roughly the same time in a pride, courtesy of the magic of the synchronicity of their mothers' body cycles. Their nurseries of almost same-aged cubs and equal genders make for a very social upbringing. It's a training ground, a playing field, a time when lifelong bonds are developed, bonds that may one day be the foundation of a strong brotherhood to fight for territory. For now, soft mouths bite and gentle paws slap out. At this age, any young male that is more adventurous will attract accidents. A heavy rock may be an innocent toy, but dropping on his tender paw and this young male might just become an early victim. A small male learns here that when someone ambushes you, someone else has your back. Soft fur protects them from needle-sharp teeth. The nursery system works. Cubs are seldom much more than a few months different in size, so older cubs can't do too much damage. The danger now is that cubs can sometimes get picked on and played to exhaustion. It seems as though mothers have developed a surprising protectiveness to male cubs in particular, perhaps understanding that the odds are already stacked against them. So ironically, because of this protectiveness and perhaps a more robust style of playing, little males slightly edge out the female cubs. By 3 months, male cubs often outnumber their sisters. It's a male aggression that can well up inside of them at any moment, at any age. A fully grown female collapsing at the wrong time on a cub 1/10 of her size might be the end of him. Being a cub is always a risky business. If there is a loner looking out at the horizon, it's probably a young male looking to his future. Will he be number 1 or number 7? A survivor or a lost nomad? Across the grassland, across whole countries, this outcast is a perfect example of why most cubs are born at roughly the same time in a pride. If you're a single child, you get a lot of attention, perhaps even better training, but when it's time to leave, you leave alone. This young male in the Okavango Delta in Botswana has challenges mounting up every day. His genetic job now is to survive and carry his father's genes to another kingdom, to conquer it for them by spreading their bloodline. But this vast, wet wilderness will swallow up a solitary, inexperienced hunter, a young male that every resident lion wants dead. His only escape is to live on the fringes of territories now. He'll work a no-man's land between his old family's range and the next, hoping to stay silent, undetected. The pride males are alert to prey and interlopers. well adapted to the hunt. Their manes are territorial flags, not camouflage in the long grass. So when the herd breaks away, the buffalo target the dark-maned male. It's like a deadly hit and run. A sharp thrust into the side punctures a lung. For this male, it is over. Rages on, its combatants oblivious to the fallen male and also to the young castaway watching the family he once was a part of. As they chase down and wrestle a buffalo to the ground for a feast at which he would once have been a favored guest, now he can only watch. The surviving male is now the only master. This is how the young nomad will eke out his small living. He will wait for the family to cause chaos and for them to become too engaged in their own more immediate business to take notice of him. The water has always been an uncomfortable place for him. All cats tackle the dark waters with caution. Crocodiles use it as their hunting ground. But if he can just keep the herd outside the pride's territory, he'll be able to hunt with immunity. If he manages this badly, though, and they turn back into his father's land, the opportunity will have been lost. He sets up a one-lion blockade, though not with much confidence. If he can frighten the herd away with a roar, he will have a little more time. But roaring will definitely attract his father, so he does something quite sneaky. He almost whispers his roar to the buffalo, making sure it doesn't reach the pride. But then, an opportunity he could not have predicted. A buffalo calf was born during the chaotic chase and crossing. The calf is growing stronger by the second, but if he pushes in fast now, the pride may notice the disturbance and come over. If he waits, the newborn might stand up and disappear among the protected legs of the herd. It's a tightrope of risk and reward. It was a game well thought out and executed. Virtually under the nose of his new nemesis, his own father. Buffalo hunting is a skill he might just develop as his speciality. So will this be this young male's future? Condemned to a life of loneliness and high risk? Or will this young cub break away with his siblings when his time comes? Most nomads don't have to leave in ones or twos like the buffalo hunter. Sometimes strong bonds formed by cubs playing make the young females leave with their brothers and cousins as a whole teenager group. It happens suddenly when the regent turns on them, foaming at the mouth and shooting looks of threat and dismissal. But as they show the first signs of adolescent rebellion, he won't tolerate them in his territory one more day. Compared to the solitary young male, this subdivision seems like a far better option for them. But it's not always what it seems. Their lives will be transformed now as they are driven deeper into the interior, where the water dries out. Lions lose condition fast. Ironically, their strength in numbers is now their weakness. Further from the water, prey is scarce. A fully grown impala antelope lasts under 12 seconds and is devoured so fast that any latecomer gets nothing at all. In just one season, they lower their standards and go on the prowl for anything. Even a 5-day-old elephant carcass, reeking of hyena and vulture stench, is attractive. Attractive enough. But they can't afford to be fussy now, not tonight, not this close to the fragile fringe of life, where even the writhing mass of maggots are not off-putting to the young lions. They are desperate. It's a token defense, a feeble attempt at dominating the carcass, and just a game for the lions. The meat is too far gone, rotten beyond a stage that even these wanderers can tolerate. And when finally they leave, the months of fighting over scraps and eating putrid remains wherever they can find them thins down their numbers one by one. Day after day, they weave their way through life into ever-increasingly dry country. Fate cast these youngsters out at just the wrong time of the year for them, into the dry season when the searing heat drains the last moisture from their bodies. Early rains might yet save them. Of the original 12 nomads in this group, only 3 will make it through the first season. As each lost nomadic male succumbs to this inevitable process of elimination, his body adds to the life of someone else. It is the harshness of this incredible system that makes it so beautiful. The success of Africa is in its elaborateness, its balance of life and death, its harmony. For every dark shadow, there is a shaft of light. a prize for those who want to reach for it. Of all the stages of males' lives, this nomadic phase is the one that most determines their fate. Those lost wanderers that make it out of the wilderness will be hardened and beaten, but alive, the ultimate survivors ready to rule. And which will he be? A lost loner or a nomad in a group whose success seemed assured, but became victims to competition? This system of expulsion seems unfair, and even an instinct that works against their own survival, against the future of all lions. Some prides, like this one that lives along a river hundreds of lion territories to the north in East Africa, hold their grown cubs in the family a little longer, perhaps too long. A large female is keeping a secret and no one notices. She's been hunting with the pride at night and sneaking off during the day. Actually, she has 3 secrets, all 10 days old, hidden a good distance from the hunting grounds in the dense bush of a small river. She has given birth to cubs out of sync with her sisters, so she has to be more attentive. She can't add her cubs to a nursery like they all did, and she often has to miss out on the hunt. At this time of the year, zebras and wildebeest are heading south and close to where the cubs are hidden. She must conceal them, and she has to do it alone. The rivers are always choke points, often causing anxiety for animals that are dependent upon solid footing to make an immediate escape. Predators know these vulnerabilities and often listen for the splashes of water and frantic calls of their prey as family members get separated and they lose focus on their surroundings. This is a threat and an opportunity. Zebras have sharp hooves and the herds bunch together in the thick bush at these crossings. Cubs would stand no chance at all if they were found. But she missed out on last night's kill, and so she takes a calculated risk as the herd moves away from the den site. She leaves the cubs and follows it into the dusk. The further into the night they move, the better it is for the solitary nocturnal hunter, disguised in the grass, hidden by the noise and the darkness. The zebras are alert, but at a disadvantage. The lioness springs her trap. near success drives her to follow on and hunt into the herd even further and further over the plains, chasing the zebra, testing their strength. The taste of blood in her mouth keeps her going, not just for herself, but so she can produce milk for her 3 cubs. But the hunt takes her a long way away from their den. It is not uncommon for single mothers to be away for hours, even days. Another solitary nomad is also following the herds. He risks a lot more than just being seen by males. This tactic of living on the fringes of the mosaic of lion territories, weaving a delicate path so as not to attract attention, is working quite well for him. Until now. By following the zebras and not paying enough attention, this young male has walked into trouble. The large female's pride from the river. The adolescents are out just spoiling for a fight. Every lion is a dangerous, well-armed animal. Sometimes it's more effective just to injure your opponent quickly and let him go. A single nomad's vulnerability is that a gashed thigh will lead to infection, forever putting him out of the game. The young males have numbers in their favor and for some reason a free pass to stay a little longer in the pride. Adolescent males are always up to something. The river pride has 7 of them. They spot something in the grass. And they want it. A 10-day-old cub. The cub has strayed from the riverbank while its mother was out hunting zebra. This fragile being, new to the world, has never before seen a fully grown lion other than his benevolent mother. This rough and tumble must be totally confusing. Suddenly, something even stranger happens. One young male, not even the biggest, lashes out at anyone who comes close and takes possession of the disorientated cub. Even though he's years older, he approaches the cub with a soft mouth reminiscent of cubs at play, but with a force that is barely restrained. A second cub is on the move, heading for the thicket. But she's going nowhere. Everyone is now interested in these tiny lions. Some instinct tells her she needs to escape now. The mother is on her way home, blissfully unaware. The danger now is that the cubs will be crushed by enthusiastic possessiveness. They have a small window of safety. Gentle investigations may risk tiring them out, but while the novelty holds, they might still remain safe until their mother returns. With this much tension, something is going to break. Someone will get hurt. Instead of getting bored with their playthings, the older cousins get even more worked up. The caretaker male fights off anyone who touches his cub and crushes the little body under him. At this stage, the tiny male cub has only one weapon. Attitude. It holds them at bay for now. But every desperate attempt at escape is foiled, and slowly both cubs start taking a beating that will sap their strength. Over the next 5 hours, 2 of the 3 cubs are played with, bitten, and fought over. And while the one possessive male keeps trying to rescue one cub for himself, it is getting rougher each time. So far, though, possibly because of a thick winter coat of fur, the sharp teeth and claws of the adolescents haven't caused any serious damage to the cubs. She's still a long way off. This constant violence will break the back of their spirit and sap their will to continue. The cousins will have committed infanticide. But then fate selects once again. In their determination to escape, the cubs overshoot their original hiding place straight into the river. It's a fortress of thorns, and the steep bank prevents the males from getting to the cubs. But down below, the weakest just manages to hang on without slipping down into the cold water. He is determined to get to the cubs. Life hangs by a thread. In this case, a single root or vine that could snap at any moment. Just before stepping on the foliage and breaking that silken vine, the young male hears a commotion. The rest of the lions have discovered the third cub. Whether it's curiosity or possessiveness, he's desperate to get to the third cub and either claim it as his prize or stop the others from claiming it as theirs. In the afternoon, the play turns more serious, darker. It's had enough. Too many heavy bodies pulled at it from every direction and fought over it for too long. And for this young male, the game is at an end. The rain further upstream turns the river cold. It starts to rise, flooding steadily towards the thicket, where the two survivors lie entangled in the undergrowth, already half submerged. Fear of the rising water forces one cub to drag himself up again, away from one danger, but towards another. The second cub barely has the strength to move. He clings desperately to twigs and vines, but as he struggles, more of the soil that anchors his precious lifeline is washed away beneath him. The day has taken its toll. She has no energy left. But then, suddenly she finds the strength from somewhere. Her mother is back. She must quickly move the one cub she has found to higher ground. She has saved one cub. Her next instinct is to move it away from the water and hide it from the adolescents. An impossible choice. Stay with one and protect it, or leave it vulnerable and search for her second cub. Especially while those males cannibalize one of her cubs right in front of her. What conditions make some of these cubs survive and not all of them? All share the same genes, the same experiences. So is it all chance? Perhaps, in this case, it's simply the fact that the mother won't give up on a single one of them while there is still hope. This time, she's rescued two of her cubs and managed the impossible. But this is exactly why young males are thrown out of the pride at a certain age. They start to cannibalize the very core of the family itself, its future. When she returns, she knows what has happened to the third cub, a male, her legacy to this game of lions. She can smell how his story ended. But as she approaches, growling her anger, her loss, her displeasure, she sends a more defining message, that the 7 adolescents' time as family members is over. It'll take a few weeks from this moment, but ultimately the cousins will be cast out to wander into the backcountry to starve or to sneak into the forgotten corners of their father's territory. Only one of these 7 males will make it to adulthood. And one day, From the deep swamplands and rivers, the buffalo hunter emerges like the phoenix risen, fortified by his hardships, proven stronger than the others of his generation. He may not be totally confident or dignified as he navigates the tricky reed beds, but he is ready for his final round. He is enticed to an island. It has buffalo and strong residents, a pride and a male. And he's here for both. He will want to take them all by surprise. And there's no better time for surprise than when everyone is busy hunting. Bides his time and attacks. It is the culmination of his lessons, a direct, confident attack, no compassion for his victim. Draw first blood and draw it fast. Hit hard and step back. His first order of business is to slay or fight any lion he sees, male or female. It defines his intention, it states his dominance. He is here to win. This is the game of kings, the game of lions, the game that has made them icons of Africa, fearsome symbols of nobility and power for millions of years. It is what we humans have revered and modeled ourselves on since ancient times. And finally, with the dominance declared and won, the throne claimed, females gathered around him, the game has one final hurdle. This one does not select the weakest, those destined not to make it, but carefully selects the strongest, the biggest, the best. Of the 20,000 lions left in the wild, less than 3,000 are males that make it this far. Each year, 600 of those battle-weary warriors, survivors of this arduous game of kings, are shot for sport and recreation. Today we have more statues of lions than we have real lions. Unless we change our values very soon, we'll have only these cold, empty eyes to remind us of how much we have lost.